The cart stops because it's congested, and it does the honking.
Correct. And this gentleman is walking towards the cart. The cart is completely stopped. He is walking towards the cart, pulling his roll behind carry-on, and just puts out a hand like a stop sign and goes, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." Hello and welcome to the Worldwide Honeymoon Travel Podcast, the podcast that talks about all things couples travel, including destinations, tips, advice, and more. I'm Chris.
I'm Kat.
And this is episode number 241.
Yes, and we are home from Canada now that, I would say, is this our first time recording since we got back?
I think it is.
Oh my gosh. That's right. That makes a lot of sense. Yes, so we have not recorded in a few weeks now. So what all has occurred in those last couple of weeks?
Well, Canada was really great. Really enjoyed our time in Canada. We spent some time in Vancouver. We spent some time in Kelowna.
Yeah, so in British Columbia is where we were. Yeah.
Yes. And then let's think, what else? We attended a wedding, which was also fun since the last time we recorded.
That was back home, not in Canada.
Correct.
Yeah.
And the foliage has been beautiful here as of late. So I've really enjoyed spending time in the park. Still working my way through the trails.
How many miles do you have left?
Less than 30.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
About 90-something, 70-something days till the end of the year, I think. So
I know.
Better get on it.
I do need to get on it.
But I think, well, I have a friend of mine coming this weekend, and I think she expressed interest on Saturday doing a little hiking. So maybe we go somewhere you haven't been yet so that you can cross that off and we get a fun hike in.
I have not done the ledges yet.
Oh, yeah. I was like, we just did the ledges, so my family came into town. I had my brother, my sister-in-law, and my two nephews come visit. And we did do the Ledges Trail this past weekend, which was a lot of fun. But yeah, you were working that day because it was a Friday. We went when it was really nice.
Yes.
Yeah, but it was good.
But yeah, we'll have to do some hiking this weekend. But yeah, anything else new?
I just purchased Eras Tour movie tickets to go with my two friends that are coming with me to the Eras Tour in Stockholm next year. So we were like, hey, it's playing at the theater down the road from us. Let's go check it out while we're in town. And yeah, I think that'll be a lot of fun.
That will be a lot of fun for you. I'm very excited for you.
Yeah. Maybe I'll go for folklore for this one because I don't have an Eras Tour outfit just yet.
Hold on, you have to dress up for the movie?
People dressed up for the Barbie movie. I went in looking like an idiot with a green shirt and jeans.
I own more pink than you do.
No, I purchased pink stuff after that. Because hot pink outfits are everywhere now. So I purchased like a tank top and a cute sweater shirt. And, yeah, so I feel like I can't get fool me once, shame on me, or you. Fool me twice, you can't get fooled again.
Hold on. Are all three of you dressing up for the movie?
Amanda was already messaging me about it and she was like, I don't know what to wear. She already has her Eras Tour outfit for May, but,
what era is she going in?
She's wearing a sparkly sequin. I think she's going with Midnights. And she's going to do like the bejeweled look.
Okay.
With like a sparkly dress.
Okay.
My plan is to go as
Taylor Swift era.
No.
Speak Now era?
No.
Why not?
I think I was planning to go in the Lover era. So I was going to do like a purpley kind of jumpsuit with tights and then like a big oversized black blazer. For like the man. It's also going to be pretty chilly in May in Stockholm, so
I do
the
not
blazer
understand
helps
the eras.
that.
How is that a Lover?
It's the Lover album.
Did she wear a purple jumpsuit?
Like she wore like cute jumpsuits for it. I mean, she has this beautiful like Lover multicolored bedazzled jumpsuit.
Are you talking like a jumper?
No, like a leotard.
You own a leotard?
No, I was going to buy one.
You're going to buy a leotard to wear to a concert?
Not this one. Not the one on Friday. Not the movies tour. I'm still planning my outfit for the one in May.
Oh my gosh.
This one, it's like, okay, well, it's obviously too late to go shopping for like a whole costume.
So hold on. What are you guys doing on Friday?
I think I think I'm going to go folklore and dry, like, you know how I have some of those long flowy dresses that I wear in photos? I think I'm just going to wear that and call it folklore. Maybe figure out a way to tie my hair back.
You also wear those dresses outside of photos.
Yeah,
but those long flowy dresses I wear in photos.
I wear them when I know I'm going to take fun Instagram photos. So I think I'm going to wear my white one with the flowers on it. And
your wedding dress.
Maybe do... No. Yeah. I'm just going to wear my wedding dress, which probably doesn't fit anymore since I have gained like 15 pounds since we've gotten married. Now that I'm no longer starving myself to fit in said wedding dress, I was like, woo! And... yeah, I don't know. Just I don't fit in it anymore. So
have you tried?
No, but it was very tight and form-fitting when I was 15 pounds lighter, so I can only imagine what it is 15 pounds heavier than what I was. So, mind you, I've also done a lot more weightlifting since then, so my bootay is a little more sculpted and rounded, I suppose.
A little bit more of an end table.
Yeah, and so probably wouldn't fit
Fair
as
enough.
well as it used to.
Not to brag, but I do still fit in my wedding suit.
Well, you did rip your pants last year.
I did.
We were at a wedding and he wore his wedding suit because I think that was your only suit that you really had at the time.
That fit me,
That fit you well. And he was breaking it down on the dance floor at a friend's wedding and all of a sudden just right in the seam, ripped down the middle.
You know?
He had to tie his blazer or the jacket around him like a girl in middle school.
No, I did not. But I did rip those pants. I had to get a replacement pair, but you know.
Yeah.
Haters gonna hate. Sometimes you're dropping it low and picking it up slow.
I know one time I was wearing a dress that I wore as a bridesmaid's dress when I was like 16 at my brother's wedding.
Okay.
To a formal event in college.
Okay.
Or university, and I was laughing, and it was snug because I had obviously gained a little weight since I was a child at 16. And so, again, I was wearing it. I was really snatched, but then we were eating dinner and sitting down, and I laughed really, really hard at something funny, and it just ripped.
Where?
Like in the back where it zips. It just completely ripped. And luckily, I had a friend that was my size, and she had an extra dress, and she lived pretty close to where we were getting dinner, and she gave me let me swap out dresses and borrow it for the night. But yeah, so sometimes rips happen. Rip happens.
Rip does happen.
Rip happens. Yeah. Well, anyway, luckily this trip that we most recently took, there weren't any rips.
Well, hold on. What was your highlight?
Oh, my highlight? I think our trip to Canada was really fun. I did love also having my family this week too, so kind of a double highlight. But I'd say Kelowna was lovely. The whale watching tour was great, and then family visiting. What about you?
You can't have
it's been so long. It's been like a few weeks, so I feel like it's a highlight a week.
What is your one highlight this past week?
My family visiting.
Awesome.
And doing the Ledges Trail with them. I think that was a fun time.
Cool.
Yeah, we told my oldest nephew, he's 7 now. We were like, "You're the leader of the hike." We gave him a little map. And we let him think,
He's a junior ranger.
He is a junior ranger. He did that on their last trip. He got that badge, and he was very proud of it. But we were like, "You're the leader of the hike." And he kept telling random strangers on the hike that he was a parkour hiker as he would jump off of rocks and things. And he would be like, "I'm the leader." And he had the map and everything. And he didn't really know where he was going, but we just kind of made him think he was leading us on this hike, and he was very excited about it. So
he's a good little guy.
He is a good little guy. He also said he wanted to listen to our podcast in the car, which I didn't even realize he knew we had a podcast. So that's exciting. We have a new young listener.
Yeah.
That's
how you get them hooked.
That's how you get them hooked.
My highlight from this past week was my run in the park that I took on Wednesday night. Mm-hmm. It was just like a beautiful sunset, beautiful fall foliage. I had never been on the trail before. So it was getting to explore some new trails in the park, and just at that perfect golden hour, which was awesome. Mm-hmm. All right. Anything else?
I think that's it.
Sweet. So we spent 3 full days in Vancouver, in British Columbia, in Canada, at the end of September. Vancouver is a city that is surrounded by mountains. It is visually stunning. And it has the perfect mix, in my opinion, of nature, city life, coastal waters, and a thriving dining scene.
Yeah. I mean, it's a fantastic foodie city.
It really
for
is.
sure. You can get so many great things from all over the world there.
It is a popular destination for both foodies and cruisers alike, I will say, because a lot of cruises going up to or ending from Alaska will either start or end in Vancouver.
And this was not your first time to Vancouver.
Well, let's not get into that yet.
Okay.
But let's go ahead and talk all about Vancouver. So I will start off with my thoughts prior, since you have already given my thoughts prior.
Yes, Christopher went here. What age?
I want to say I was 14 or 15.
So you went here with your family quite a while ago.
Yes.
Like more than half of your life ago.
Correct.
And what was the reason for that visit?
We flew to Vancouver to spend a day there and then to leave for an Alaskan cruise.
Okay. So do you want to talk about, I would say, your thoughts prior this time around after having gone the first time around? Has it changed a lot? I'm sure it has, but go into some detail on that.
Yes. So I had visited as a child when we took a cruise to Alaska. I remembered a very gray, rainy, moody city. And I remember being surrounded by mountains. I remembered the smell of salt water. And other than that, I remembered a big city. Like, this was the biggest city that I had ever been in at this point. Mm-hmm. So when we were there when I was younger, we went to Butchart Gardens, which is like not in Vancouver. You have to take a ferry to get to the island, all that good stuff. But I do remember Vancouver being a mecca for cruisers. Mm-hmm. I will say that. So I was looking forward to spending time like within the city as an adult too, because like I think what you do when you have children is different than what you do when you're an adult. But you had never been to Vancouver. Mm-hmm. What were your thoughts prior?
So my thoughts prior is I've been to Portland, Oregon. I've been to Seattle. Those are very big Pacific Northwest cities. Vancouver is not that far north of Seattle when you think about it, especially when you see it on a map. So I very much expected similar vibes, similar weather and climate as Portland, Oregon, and Seattle, except I've been to those cities in the middle of summer when it's kind of sunny and sort of cool. This was the fall, so it's a little bit moodier, a little bit cloudier.
So Seattle with better healthcare.
Oh, gosh, yeah, probably.
Got him.
I knew that it was known for having the largest city park, I think in North America. I don't know if that's correct or not. Please don't quote me on that. But I know it's bigger than Central Park. So quite a large park that a lot of people talk about going to the seawall that's in the park and walking around that. I knew that it's a beautiful waters to mountains sort of ratio, which is something I always love about the Pacific Northwest, particularly Seattle, is the fact that you can see the water, you can walk along the water, but then you also have these beautiful mountain views in the background. So I think that's really, really cool. I knew it was a foodie city. I was really excited to go and to eat there specifically. And yeah, just see the beautiful views. But those were my thoughts prior.
That is awesome. So I looked it up while you were talking. Stanley Park is the third largest park in North America.
Okay, what are the first two?
Chugach State Park in Anchorage, Alaska.
Okay.
Is the largest by acres, but it is not completely contained within the metropolitan city limits of Anchorage.
It doesn't count. No, I'm just kidding.
Get wrecked. No. But yeah, Stanley Park is not the largest of its kind, but it is 1/5 larger than New York's Central Park. It is almost half the size of London's Richmond Park. Have you ever been to Richmond Park?
No, I've been to like Hyde Park and stuff, but
okay. Well, that was not what we were talking about.
Okay.
Alrighty. First impressions. We land in Vancouver. Just like an old veteran navigating that airport.
It probably looks completely different than what? Almost 20 years ago?
You know, there was one change that I did notice. And it was actually the fact that they took my recommendation from the suggestion box when I dropped it in there the first time. So,
okay.
But what was
was the suggestion?
You know what? to make it more easily navigable for yours truly. And they did. I breezed through it.
Remember on our layover in Toronto? I feel like we need to talk about this. The whoa, 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 whoa.
Yes. So, yes. So first off, on our way home, it was just an absolute nightmare of a trip home.
Let's talk about the trip there first.
Well, hold on. Let me
maybe let's get into that with the logistics. Why don't you continue with your first impressions?
All right. So first impressions, airport recommendations and suggestions taken aside.
The city planning took your suggestions.
Correct.
Yeah.
We walk outside. It is rainy. It is gray. It is cold. I am now moody. All of my thoughts prior, spot on. Not surprising.
Christopher was a grumpy pumpkin.
Not surprising. It was rainy but bustling.
Mm-hmm.
People were walking around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was a light drizzle. I didn't need an umbrella.
Well, when it rains a significant amount of the year, I feel like you just kind of get over it. Like, you're not going to be like, oh, I'm going to be inside all day because it's raining. Like, you're just like, I have things to do.
I love running in the rain.
I hate it.
I love it.
Because I hate my face getting wet. Like, I hate when the water just flies into your face. You know what I mean? Worst part.
Okay. But yeah, first impressions, nailed it. What about yours?
I would say, yes, it's definitely moody vibes. Christopher was moody upon entering there. He was also very hangry, so that didn't help.
I was
but
so freaking
it
hungry.
is absolutely stunning. Food scene on point, even from the beginning. And way bigger than I expected is what I wrote down. Like, I knew it was going to be a bigger city, but I kind of pictured Seattle almost because they're so close and because it's also another Pacific Northwest type of city. I don't know. I feel like Seattle felt smaller to me. Like, it felt like there was a few like tall buildings downtown and then, you know, you kind of go off into the neighborhoods. Vancouver's downtown is pretty large. And then you'd have to take like a little like aqua bus to get to like Granville Island and like things like that. So I was surprised with how big it was. I did not picture it as being this large, like New York City's, maybe not the size of New York, but like a very large Chicago size, maybe metropolis.
Oh yeah. Like we were,
yeah.
We could not walk everywhere, right?
No.
There were portions of the city that we would walk to and it would be like a 45-minute walk, but it was kind of cool to see the city. But very much a city where you're going to rely upon public transportation or ride sharing or what have you.
Yeah.
Alrighty, logistics. How to get there. Vancouver International Airport.
Okay, let's talk about how we got there.
Sure.
Because that's a story in itself.
So we went from Cleveland to Toronto, Toronto to Vancouver. Mm-hmm. Toronto was quite possibly one of my funniest airport experiences ever because it was a crowded airport. Mm-hmm. Okay, there were, I don't know what was going on, but there were crowds.
I mean, we were traveling on a holiday weekend.
That's true.
So.
There was one of those carts, you know, like the motorized, like golf cart style things that go through the airport and like beep, beep, beep. And like, yeah, they're like driving people around. Well, not around, to gates. There's a purpose for their driving.
It's not just a joyride. Who did we see in the
Tristan Thompson.
Oh my gosh. That was funny. One time, I think were we either at Great Lakes or were we at Bar Simon?
We were at Bar
Cleveland.
Simon.
And all of a sudden we see like Tristan Thompson getting like a ride on one of these golf cart things all sprawled out in like bright, vibrantly yellow, I think, Cavaliers gear.
Yeah.
Like it could not be more
like the warm-up
Yeah,
gear.
it was a warm-up gear and it was like could not be more obvious it was him, but he was just like he was chilling and loving it, but we were just cracking up at that. But
I called that cart LeBron because it was carrying him as well.
Okay. Yikes.
Yeah. So yeah, so anyway, we're like walking through Toronto's airport and we see one of these carts coming towards us. And we're like, okay, we are going to step aside and let this cart through.
And it was congested because we were passing a gate that was starting to board, so people were all gathered everywhere.
And this guy just,
the cart stops because it's congested and it does the honking.
Correct. And this gentleman is walking towards the cart. The cart is completely stopped. He is walking towards the cart, pulling his roll behind carry-on and just puts out a hand like a stop sign and goes, whoa, 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 whoa. And I'm like...
And I was the only one that just bust out laughing immediately.
You did. And
but I was like, how does anyone else not think this is hysterical? The car isn't moving. It's not like he's like slowing it down, but like trying to slow the car down. It is stopped. And he's the one who takes a good 5 feet walking distance, closes the gap between them just to go, whoa, 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 whoa.
And then he just like walks by still with his hand out like he's stiff arming for the Heisman and just like keeps walking, and Kat busts out laughing.
I just think it was so funny.
And I'm just thinking to myself, like, what?
Yes.
Like, if you're that concerned about the cart coming towards you, like you said, you're closing the gap, sir.
Yeah.
You're getting closer
Sir,
to the
sir.
cart. Sir. Yeah, just kind of wild. But that was Toronto. So, way to get to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Flying to Vancouver International Airport. It's located on Sea Island, which is south of the city. About a 20 to 25-minute ride up to the city.
Yes. Yeah, so getting to the airport, flying is probably going to be your best bet as far as how to get there. If you live in the Pacific Northwest, like Seattle or Portland, you can take a train. There is a train that goes up to Vancouver, so if you want to do that as well, you can. And then again, once you're there, Uber and Lyft are available, which is great. Public transportation is readily available. And then also, if you are planning to go explore outside of the city, renting a car is probably a good idea. If you want to go up to Whistler, if you want to go up to some of the attractions,
Sea to Sky Gondola,
yeah,
Grass
Squamish,
Mountain,
that area, it's probably an easier. I think that there are some that you can do the public transportation, but it's far easier to just rent a car than figure out the public transportation to go outside the city. Yeah, where to stay? We stayed at the Residence Inn by Marriott downtown. I thought that was a really good central location where we could go walk to Gastown and back. Like, we love walking around cities, so for us, it was convenient because we could just walk to Gastown and back, walk to Stanley Park, walk to, or take the public transport, aka the Aqua Bus, from downtown into Granville Island. So part of the public transportation system are these little water taxis called aqua buses, and they're great. They have like a little stop. I think it was like €3.50 $3 Canadian 50. Yeah.
Yeah. Why don't you hop back on the side of the pond?
I
there,
know.
France?
I know. We were talking about France the previous episodes. It was $3.50.
I've just started thinking like them.
Well, you're the worst. So it was $3.50 Canadian.
Okay.
Per one way, at least to get from downtown to Granville Island, or $7 round trip, Canadian dollars.
Yes, per person.
Per person. So yeah, that's getting there, getting around, and where to stay. Do you want to talk about the things to do?
Yes. So the first thing is something that's already come up a little bit here, and that is Granville Island. I don't believe it's really an island, is it?
I believe it might be a peninsula.
Thank you.
I think it's partially attached to land.
I mean, both of us can agree it's certainly not an isthmus. Yes, you take the aqua bus to get here. Fun little boat. Sometimes if you really get into it, like Catherine did, they'll give you a little captain's hat and a star. But
Oh my god,
I did not get that.
Okay.
The big reason that we went to Granville Island was the Granville Island Public Market. Huge market selling both prepared foods, like little restaurant takeaway places, but also produce, meats, cheeses, ingredients, that type of thing. We spent a good amount of time walking around the public market.
Yeah.
We ended up getting lunch here. I do not remember the name of the stand, but they were selling clam chowder pot pies and salmon chowder pot pies.
Yes, it was a big soup stand.
Yes,
you can't miss it. They had or pies, I think they were calling it. I don't know. They were selling pies and soup. It was great.
You mean pot pies?
Pot pies, yeah. But
There
they
it
were
is.
also selling pies as well if you wanted a pie.
You know?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But that's where we had lunch. It was pretty good. It was a very, very crowded market.
Yes.
It was raining, so that probably contributed to to
everyone
how crowded
was
it was.
inside.
But I mean, we grabbed coffee at a stand there. What else did we get there? We got dessert there.
We did. And there are signs all over the place that say seagulls steal snacks by the seashore. And that is extremely true. We went to the market. We had our lunch like normal. We stood up at some like wooden stand or whatever, just because that was all that was available. Ate our delicious chowders. I think the salmon chowder was a smoked salmon chowder. It was so good.
Agreed.
Amazing. Nice little flaky crust. And then we, for dessert, got little snacks at another stand. And I think I got a sticky bun.
Yes.
And we went outside to eat it because it had stopped raining at that point, and I almost got attacked by a seagull. All I heard was flapping over my head, and turned around to see a seagull that was trying to steal my snacks by the seashore. And so I ran away, and then you had a bit of a standoff with him.
Yeah, real recognized real.
Okay.
I was surprised that they were warded off by your little captain badge that the Aquabus had given you, but
Will you stop?
that was yeah. But yeah, they do steal snacks by the seashore. Outside of the market, we went to a little restaurant, or not a restaurant, but like a little bakery called a Bread Affair. Oh. So freaking good.
That cheese puff.
A Gruyere cheese puff.
Yeah. What was it called? The exact name of it?
A Gruyere cheese puff.
No, it was like a cheesy puff or puffy.
Puffy cheese, cheesy
it was like
puff.
A puffy loaf cheese. I don't know. It was delicious.
It was like a little roll that had Gruyere cheese, not just filled, but like baked into the dough.
With like a nice herbed crust.
Yes, it was
so good.
really, really good. Yeah. And then you got what?
I want to say I got like a cookie, but it was also very good. They also sell bread, so if you just want to eat bread, if you love bread,
it was
great place for bread.
No Gruyere cheesy puff though.
Yeah.
I think we both agree that was probably the best there.
Yeah.
Okay. Also a ton of shops.
Mm-hmm.
You will find pretty much everything there. There were like little arts and crafts shops, like home goods. There were souvenir shops. There were knife
art
shops, art galleries,
native crafts.
Yep.
Or indigenous
wine shop,
crafts.
whole bunch of stuff.
Bookstores.
Yeah.
Children's clothing, all sorts of things.
Yes. All the good stuff, and we spent probably a good hour or two walking around all of those as well.
Mm-hmm.
And then before we went back to the mainland, we went to Granville Island Brewing. We did not eat here; we just drank here. And that was also a good time. Yeah, it was a nice little way to spend an hour or two in the rain.
Yeah, we got a flight.
Yeah, we had a flight. They had a nice little playlist going, I remember, and yeah, I was just kind of vibing. Yeah. It was good. But that is Granville Island. The second thing that we would recommend is Prince of Wales whale watching tour. But that is all you're going to get about that one, because we're going to talk about that in next week's episode.
Yep.
Number 3 would be Stanley Park. We've also mentioned this earlier in the episode. This was a 1,001 acre park. Not was, still is. And we walked the entire seawall. So starting within Vancouver, walked the entire perimeter of Stanley Park. Also ventured to the inner regions to see some of the attractions like the Rose Garden and the Totem Pole Park. But lots of little like cutaways to go within the park as well. Mm-hmm. We did not do the aquarium. We did not do, there was another attraction as well that we didn't do because we really just wanted to kind of walk around, experience it. It was our nature day.
There was beaches. There are beaches.
Yes.
Yeah, the brewery, which I'm sure you'll probably talk about in a minute.
I was just going to say, we ended at Stanley Park Brewing.
Yeah, and then they had like stuff for like, if you wanted to play tennis, there was like some tennis courts, some basketball courts, like that sort of thing.
Golf course.
A golf course. So lots on Stanley Park.
None of which you wanted to play?
No, because it was like sprinkling and drizzly. And I was really hungry because we had just walked the entire perimeter of the seawall.
Yeah, I was getting very, very hungry as well. But Stanley Park Brewing was good also.
Even the food was pretty good.
The food was good. I was going to say the
yeah.
pizza I could have done without.
Yeah.
But we also got fish tacos, which I probably could have done without. Like they were good,
The
but
food
like
was good, but I could have done without the entire meal.
no, I mean like the food was good, but like
I think that we got this dip, right?
well, hold on. I'm gonna
Yeah.
get yeah. Like I wouldn't seek out the food. I guess I'm saying. But it was a nice.
It
little
was really good
refueling
after
stop.
walking. What was it, 6 miles
Yes,
around the seawall? It was really good
it was very good
when you're really hungry.
But the dip was, if I'm remembering correctly, it was like a shrimp or corn or something like that.
Oh yeah,
Remember, it was like a
crab.
Creole chowder. Or something.
I don't know. It was some sort of seafoody, cheesy dip, and it was
It
fantastic.
was very good. Very good. Anything else you want to say about Stanley Park?
It was very beautiful. I highly recommend. You can walk along the seawall. People were rollerblading and roller skating, biking, all that sort of thing. So there's lots of things you can do in and around the seawall.
And the view from the bridge or of the bridge too, like there were a lot of really neat lookouts throughout Stanley Park.
Yeah, so it's a really, really cool thing. I think we spent like the better part of a morning and early afternoon just in Stanley Park. You could devote a lot of time there. So highly, highly recommend it. It was a great place to spend some time while you are in Vancouver. But are there any other things that you had?
The dip. I looked it up.
Okay.
Warm poblano prawn dip.
Oh, yeah.
It was so good.
That one's worth going for.
That
the
was
beer
worth
was good
going
too.
for.
I
The
liked
beer
the
was
beer was
good.
pretty good. But that poblano prawn dip,
That was very good.
fantastic.
Yeah, we also had the margarita pizza and the fish tacos. Both good, but like not something that I would necessarily like seek it out for.
Yeah.
But that poblano prawn dip, fire.
Yeah.
I do not remember the beers that we had, but
I don't know. We did a flight. So
We did do a flight.
I'm always all about the IPAs, anything that's fun. I think I got a sour. The beers are changing. They have a few staples, but you know that there are seasonal beers and things that are changing. So like,
yeah.
I feel like sometimes it can be a little pointless to list them out because in a year from now, it's probably not even going to be relevant.
Right.
You know.
But if you want to see what we drank, I think we did log them on Untapped. We are hoppy_together on Untapped. Check it. You also mentioned this earlier in the episode. We went up to Gastown. We saw the Gastown steam clock, which was neat. It emits steam every 15 minutes on like the quarter of the hour. And then on the hour, it plays a nice little festive like whistle toot song and also emits steam. So that was pretty cool. You can't miss it when you're there because it's going to be the corner of the street where there's a ton of people.
Yeah.
And then we also went to Steamworks Brewing that day, which was also
and I think we got their we got their like Oktoberfest,
yes,
pumpkin ale, something like that. So those were pretty good too.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then the last thing that we would recommend doing that we did, there's certainly other things that we can do. Like we said, there's the Sea to Sky gondola, there's Grouse Mountain. I mean, there's a ton of stuff within Vancouver. We didn't get to go to the art museum, anything like that. But we also checked out some breweries. We went to Strange Fellows, got a flight there, which I thought was pretty good. I believe this was on the Yeast Trail. Is that right? The Yeast Vancouver?
It's called Yeast Vancouver. So it's in East Vancouver. They call it Yeast Vancouver.
LOL.
Yeah. Witty. And they have some breweries in that area that you can explore.
Yes. Now, my favorite brewery and my favorite beer that we had while we were in Vancouver was at Lupolo. Just great beer.
Yeah, so we checked out
Really,
Lupolo
really good.
Brewing and Strange Fellows Brewing while we were there. Strange Fellows is a very small place. I thought the beer was pretty good there. I think I got a flight. at both. I can't remember.
You did get a flight.
And
at
then
both.
Lupolo was also very, very good.
Lupolo was fire.
Great like vibe. It's a vibe. No, it was a great place. A lot of fun. I think they have a restaurant as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
We did not eat there because we were going to get food elsewhere.
Yes.
But yeah, very good. Alrighty. Anything else you want to add to attractions in Vancouver?
Yeah. So I wrote down some other things to do.
Hit it.
You kind of briefly mentioned on them. Grouse Mountain is a cool place to check out, especially if you have extra time. There's a wildlife refuge. There's outdoor adventures. There's zip lining. There's snow sports if you're there in the wintertime. Yeah, there's just lots of cool things. There's chairlift rides, paragliding, skiing, sleighing. hiking, all sorts of things. They have something called the Mother Nature's Stairmaster, which is about 2,800 feet in about 90 minutes to climb up. So yeah, quite a workout there. That's a fun place to get really outside of the city, sort of out into nature there. There's also, of course, the Sea to Sky Gondola, which is pretty far outside the city. I think it helps to have a car to get here. There's lots of hiking trails. There's the suspension bridge. It's very nice. There's also the Capilano Suspension Bridge Park that has a 300-foot high cliff walk, a rainforest canopy that you're sort of above with a treetops adventure, suspension bridge, all of that stuff. So beautiful natural surroundings. You can really get into nature, see the treetops. Sort of get above that rainforest canopy at the suspension bridge and stuff, but also great places for hiking, also skiing in the winter, that sort of thing. So those are really cool things to do in and around the Vancouver area. Also, in Vancouver, you have the Vancouver Art Gallery, of course. If you want to go to Victoria Island, there's Butch Art Gardens, which are always very famous. I believe you went here the day that you had in Vancouver as a child.
That is correct.
Yes. Do you have any insights, or is it a big garden? Any details that you remember from the gardens?
A lot of flowers.
Okay. And you went in the summer?
We went in August.
Yes.
A lot of flowers.
And then there's also, if you want to go all the way up to Whistler, there's lots of skiing again. It's a big ski destination, good hiking destination. Also lots of great spas. So there's a spa called Spa Scandinave that I would love to go to in Whistler. That's like an indoor and outdoor spa, and they have their hot tubs and stuff that are outside with beautiful views of the mountains. But I actually went to a Spa Scandinave in Montreal during my bachelorette party where they do hydrotherapy, where you do I want to say it's like a 20-minute soak in like warm water. Then you do like a very quick 30-second cold plunge. So you either get into a cold pool, you take a cold shower, that sort of thing. And then you have like a 15-20 minute sort of like relaxation, and you're supposed to do it at least 3 times. And I will say that I've never felt more numb in like a good way. Like I felt like all my problems had gone. I was like so entirely relaxed. And I feel like Spa Scandinave is a great place for that. So if you want to do that up in Whistler, it's not too far from Vancouver. That you can go up to for the day, or spend a couple days there too. So those are some great things to do in and around Vancouver. Do you want to talk about food?
I would love to talk about food.
Let's talk about the food, because that's a fantastic thing.
I think this was the best I have eaten all year.
Yes.
Now, I will say that I have not been to
Puerto Rico or France.
Puerto Rico.
I got to say, Puerto Rico's got some good food ones for me, as well as France.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not all of us have been able to go to Champagne this year.
That's fair. I mean,
do better.
Yeah. It's a tough life.
It is a tough.
Kidding.
Yeah, thank you. It is.
Oh, I'm kidding.
A little respect. Alrighty. So the first night that we got in, we went to Japadog. Japadog was fire. I loved Japadog.
And there are several locations of Japadog. Some of them are just food trucks in the middle of the city. It was raining. We were not about that, because we were like, where are we going to eat? Outside in the rain. They do have a couple locations where you can eat inside, and that is what we did, but it is fast. Like, it's a quick place to get food. And you order at the counter, and then they call out your number and you go pick it up. But Japadog is a Japanese hot dog place that specializes in various delicious Japanese hot dog combinations. What were some of the ones that you got while you were there?
So I had the veggie teramayo, which was a veggie hot dog with teriyaki sauce, Japanese mayo, fried onions, and seaweed. I also had the veggie yakisoba, which was a veggie dog with yakisoba noodles on top. The teramayo dog was so... Like, I love the combination of teriyaki and Japanese mayo.
Mm-hmm.
The seaweed was perfect. The fried onions were great. We also had some octopus balls.
Yes.
Which
so
were
good.
also very good. We had shaken fries.
They're known for that. It's like a seaweed salt fries is what we got.
Also very good.
And then I got the veggie okonomi, which is the veggie dog with Japanese traditional sauce, Japanese mayo, bonito flakes, and fried cabbage.
Yes.
Very good. I will
Yours
say
was also very good.
that I had a bit of order envy because I think that your one hot dog that you got.
The teramayo or the yakisoba?
The teramayo.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Is that your favorite thing that we had to eat at Japadog?
Yes.
That was my favorite as well. All the food was super good, but that took first prize for me. I
also got their lemonade, which was so good. Highly recommend that as well. Yeah.
There you go.
Good lemonade.
Good lemonade.
Yeah.
We got lunch at the public market. We had some snacks at a bread affair the next day, but then we went to Vidge's for dinner. Vidge's is an Indian restaurant that we saw actually on the No Reservations episode of Vancouver from years ago. That is also how we found Japadog. Vidge's was bomb. It was one of the coolest interiors. Great aesthetic.
Great cocktails. What did you get?
I got a Negroni, and then I got the Vidge's Negroni.
Yes. This was a little different.
Both very good.
Yes. I had some cocktails, and then I think I had some wine at dinner, which was also very delicious.
You did, yeah.
Yeah.
But at Vidge's, we had the samosa, which was like the size of a softball. Mm-hmm. It was gigantic.
You're going to want to split it.
Yes.
But a lot of the food here, it's more of like small plates. You want to split it sort of thing. Yeah.
Yes. It was really funny. Our waiter said that I would not let you order two. Okay. So that was very nice of him.
Yeah. And I believe it was some sort of red pepper sauce that it was in. So good.
Yes.
It was very delicious. That samosa was.
Really good samosa. And then I had it was served on like an old, like metallic, like school lunch tray. Mm-hmm. And it had a variety. There was a squash curry. There was a mushroom component. There was a spinach potato curry, all of which were really good. We also split some naan. My favorite thing here that I had was the spinach potato curry.
Same. I mean, that was amazing.
That was really, really
more
good.
Of it.
I do.
They give you plenty of naan too. They are very, very generous with their naan, which is very chewy and perfect and goes great with everything.
And then what did you order? Was it mushroom red pepper curry?
Yes, it was some sort of veggie curry, but it was very delicious.
It was.
Yeah, I think there was paneer in it as well.
Super
very
good stuff.
So I got a delicious curry. We kind of went half and half on it.
Yes.
So we tried a little bit of everything. So good that I think if I could have had a whole dish of that potato, spinach, kale curry.
So good.
That was incredible.
So good.
Just incredible.
The next day was, let me think. That was our Stanley Park day, right? So that's when we ate lunch at Stanley Park Brewing. And then that was also when we went to Yeast Vancouver. And then we went to Little Bird Dim Sum and Craft Beer Bar for dinner.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
You know what? I was vibing.
Yes. It's a dim sum place that serves craft beer.
It was so good.
So good. I
think we got half the menu.
I was so full after.
Yeah.
We got the xiaolong bao, so we got the soup dumplings there. We got shrimp sumai, so that's like the shrimp dumplings. We got
shrimp toast.
Oh my gosh, the shrimp toast was so good. We got like all sorts of different dumplings. They were so good. Everything there was delicious.
We got the barbecue pork bun.
We did get the pork bun.
My favorite thing that we had there was the scallop taro puff.
Yes, that was really good. Yeah.
All you have said is that was really good.
You know what? You know what made my day though is so like I love sauces, as you can tell. The fact that like my TikTok has like all sorts of things from Condiment Claire, who is like her main thing is just sauces and
the sauce
dips.
Boss.
I love a good sauce, and there were so many sauces that came with everything. And like as our server was picking up everything, she was like, "Oh, I'm so glad you guys actually use the sauce because like we always give it away for free, and like nobody uses it, and then we have to throw it out." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, what? People are just eating dry stuff. They're not dipping it. They're not even curious as to what this flavor combination might be." Because I got to try it all.
Yeah.
And so
Little Bird was good.
meanwhile, we did some damage on all the sauces and we wanted to keep them around and like try it with everything. And it was so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will also say they had really good sesame balls.
Yeah.
We got those for dessert, and those were
really good.
Those were very, very good. We also got egg tarts for dessert, also very good.
And you do have to order those ahead of time
for
them to make it in time.
You do.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah, all good stuff at Little Bird. The next day was whale watching.
Mm-hmm.
And after whale watching, we went to a restaurant that is just off of Granville Island called Go Fish.
And this, I'm going to shout out to the Extra Pack of Peanuts podcast, because I remember long ago hearing them talk about this great fish and chips place that they had gone to. And I looked it up and I was like, oh, it's not that far from where we get dropped off from whale watching. Let's go there for lunch. And what I love about it, it's called Go Fish. It has 3 different types of fish that you can choose from for your fish and chips. But it's a fish and chips place. It's so good. We also got, I believe you got a chowder.
I did.
A seafood chowder or something while we were there.
Corn chowder.
Or corn chowder. Very, very good. I got the halibut. I believe you did too of the fish. I think it was cod, halibut, and salmon, which I would have been interested to try salmon, but halibut sounded really good. Great fish, great chips. I liked it.
I thought it was all right.
Yeah, I will say that like for me, fish and chips is like, I don't think it's the most like super flavorful dish, but it was pretty good, especially if you put a little of that malt vinegar on it and like go to town. So it was pretty good. I liked it. It was some good fish and chips. Yeah. The fries were also very delicious and the soup was good too. So I'm glad that we got to try all of that. And it was a great, very filling place to go to after being kind of in the cold of the whale watching, where it's very cold, and then we're going to get some warm, toasty fish and chips and soup.
Yes, very good. I will say it did not hold a candle to dinner. Dinner was at St. Lawrence.
It's a little more gourmet, though, than that.
St. Lawrence, French-inspired cuisine, absolutely killer. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Like, I don't think we had a bad meal when we were in Vancouver.
No, everything was really good.
St. Lawrence, so from the very first bite, it was like a fried little like crispy ball.
I think it's like, oh gosh, I'm so bad at pronouncing this in French. It's like a cougère. It's like a choux pastry ball with the cheese in it. Like, people that know French pastry probably know what it is.
But then
but a cheesy eclair, essentially, eclair ball made from the same sort of thing.
It had powdered ketchup on the top.
Yes. And
that flavor combination was just like otherworldly. Mm-hmm. It was not a sweet flavor like you sometimes get with ketchup. It was very much kind of like a tart tomato flavor. But as soon as I took that first bite, I was like, this is going to be really good.
And this is a Michelin star restaurant.
Yes, they do have 1 Michelin star.
But pretty affordable. I mean, compared to
I would say so, yeah.
We've been to a 3-star before, which was like outrageous and crazy. And not even the best meal we've ever had, which again, we've talked about this in other episodes. But yeah, this was really good. I almost would say that this was better, but
I would agree.
But cheaper. Yeah.
So St. Lawrence rotates their menu quite often. But I will say, the one thing that was the best thing that I had there, which was not even something that I ordered, it was like a little bite in between courses, was a sweet corn mousse. Just light, airy, like you're looking at it and you're expecting like a pudding almost. So you're expecting something very, very sweet, but then you bite it and it's like biting into an ear of buttered corn on the cob.
But without it getting stuck in your teeth, which I appreciate.
Yes. Super good.
Yeah.
What was your favorite part of that meal?
Oh gosh. I will say that the lamb was the best lamb I've ever had, because sometimes I'm not so great about lamb. I don't always love the texture and stuff. They cooked it perfectly with the best red wine dark sauce. It was fantastic. But also dessert was very delicious, because I think I had like a chocolate cake. Amazing creation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
All of that being said, what was your favorite thing that you had to eat in Vancouver?
Veggies, without question, the potato, kale, spinach. Like, I know it sounds like it's like this healthy, like gonna be unflavorful because it's like kale and spinach. It's like a salad with potato. The way that it was cooked and just like the curry, like the whole sauce situation was like chef's kiss. Like 10 out of 10, one of the best things I think that I've eaten this year.
I agree.
If they could just put that in a gigantic bowl for me to just stick my face in, I think I would be very happy.
Well, I would be careful. You want to make sure that you cover up that junior captain's badge from the Aquabus.
Well, why? This is not true. I don't know why he makes this stuff up.
My favorite food in Vancouver was also the spinach potato curry at Veggies. It was... So I remember taking my first bite.
Followed by the cheese puff.
Hey, maybe.
At a bread affair.
That
I feel like
cheese
if
puff.
I lived in Vancouver, which there are sometimes we travel to places and we're like, should we live here? I think the food alone pretty much sold us for Vancouver, but that cheese puff, amazing. Such a good snack.
You know, there are times where like I will romanticize like walking around a city, getting something like what is it? Like putting a baguette under your arm, strolling along the Seine,
true.
that
there
sort of thing.
There are a few things that beat a really, 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 really good, amazing salted butter from Brittany.
Oh my gosh.
With a fantastic baguette tradition.
I should have never brought up a baguette.
Literally, probably my favorite thing to eat on the face of the planet.
Okay.
But anyway.
Spinach potato curry at Veggies.
Yeah.
I remember my first bite, and I was like awoken. Mm-hmm. And it was such a perfectly spiced dish. It was almost like a little bit more salt than is generally present in a curry. Mm-hmm. But to me, that brought out a lot of the flavors. It was certainly not over salty. Mm-mm. It was
had a little kick, but nothing too crazy.
It did, yeah. It was just so
there was
good.
more to it than just like green leafy vegetable and potato. But I do love a good potato anything, so I don't think I've ever met a potato I didn't enjoy. So yeah, that.
What about a couch potato? You love that stuff.
There's nothing wrong with that on a good Sunday afternoon, a little couch potato action.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, anything else about Vancouver?
Would you go back? Do you have any other things about... do you have a favorite beverage in Vancouver that you tried while you were there?
You know, we had some good wine. We had some good beer. I am hard-pressed to find a drink that is better than a Negroni. I'll just say it. The Negroni at Veggies, I love Negronis.
Yeah.
You said this to someone while we were in Kelowna. I could wax poetry about the Negroni.
I was a couple glasses deep when I said that, but I made friends with quite a few of the spouses during the spouse tour of Kelowna while you were at your conference. I
dearly love Negronis. I think it's the perfect cocktail. I think you can tell a lot about a person when they're drinking a Negroni.
Yeah.
So I would say that that kind of hit the spot. I will also say that there was a beer. It was a West Coast IPA that I had at Little Bird Dim Sum. Again, it's on our Untapped. That was really good too.
Yeah.
What about your favorite drink?
I think all the hazy IPAs that I got during my flight at Lupolo, very good. That whole flight was amazing.
Lupolo had really good
usually
beer.
You get a flight and one of them's like, this isn't really like, I just wanted to try it because it sounded cool, but like I'm not really sure. That whole flight was great that I got. So pretty much all the beer at Lupolo and
good stuff.
Especially the hazy IPAs.
There it is. Would you go back?
I'm glad that we
Nope.
went. No, I'm glad that we went, but I don't necessarily need to go back. I feel like we had a good feel of Vancouver via eating our way around and exploring. I would love to go back and see like Whistler and maybe do like the suspension bridges and stuff. Like I love outside of San Diego, my favorite city in the United States is Seattle, and Vancouver is very similar in a lot of ways.
Did you like Vancouver or Seattle better?
Seattle.
Really?
Yeah, but I do think Vancouver has a better food scene.
Okay.
Seattle does have a good food scene, but like Vancouver was so good.
Okay.
Yeah, so I feel like I'm very happy that we went. Would I like to go back and see the stuff outside of the city? Sure, but I don't necessarily need to stay in downtown Vancouver and explore again because I feel like we got a really good feel for Vancouver when we went.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I wouldn't be like, oh, no, I won't go if someone's like, hey, you want to go to Vancouver with us? I'd be like, oh, twist my arm. But like, I don't necessarily need to go back if it's just the two of us. You know what I mean? There's higher priority items on our list, so to speak.
I agree with that.
What about you?
To me, I kind of group Vancouver and Lima, Peru together.
Okay.
Where I could go back for like 2 days solely to eat and drink.
That's fair.
But it would
I would go back just to eat around Vancouver. I don't even need to sightsee in the city.
No.
I would just go outside the city, go to Grouse Mountain, go to the Capilano Suspension Bridges. Like
you are missing my point.
Go to Whistler, but I just mostly just want to eat.
You are missing my point.
Yeah, but you have to do things between breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
You wake up, you have lunch, you go back and rest. You have dinner, you go back and rest. I am just eating around
You
this
are
place.
not that kind of person. Like, get out of here. We went to an all-inclusive resort this past year for the first time ever.
I hated it.
And
it was awful.
You were not the person that could just like sit around, eat, go take a nap, go take a nap all day.
Now
you're an activities guy.
Yeah, well, if they asked us.
That's what I'm saying. We have breakfast, we go to Grouse Mountain, we come back, have like lunch, dinner sort of situation.
What do you mean lunch, dinner?
I don't know, little Brenner. Maybe we get back at 3 p.m. We don't want to eat like, I don't know. That's true. I eat like lunch between 2 and 3 every day, but like.
I'm a 3 square meals a day plus 2 snacks kind of guy.
Okay. 11sies.
11sies.
You're a hobbit.
We would both go back. It would probably be to eat. Like if I were in the area, I would spend like a day or 2 in Vancouver.
Yeah.
But it's not something where I feel as though I didn't get to see enough of the city, if that makes sense.
Yeah. I feel like if we were going to go to Whistler or something, or go to Vancouver or go out to like Jasper or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go to Vancouver for a day or 2. Eat, have a good time, and then head out to wherever we're going.
Awesome.
But that is Vancouver. That is our travel to Vancouver. Little tips and tricks. So let us know your thoughts. Have you guys been to Vancouver? What do you like to eat and drink while you're there? If you've been, you can always reach out to us on pretty much all social media at Worldwide Honeymoon, except for X, which is WW Honeymoon, or you can email kat@worldwidehoneymoon.com. But thank you guys so much for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to rate and review our podcast. It takes less than a few minutes and really helps other people find us. Also, if you're enjoying this awesome free information on both the blog and podcast, when you're booking your next trip, head over to worldwidehoneymoon.com/resources and use the links provided. We earn a small commission at no cost to you when you book through these links, and these are all brands and companies we know, love, and use, like Skyscanner for finding the best flight prices, World Nomads for the best travel insurance, TripAdvisor for hotel bookings and reviews, and even Amazon for all of your travel purchases.
Thank you for tuning in. We really appreciate it. Wherever you are, wherever you go, remember to make every day a worldwide honeymoon.